Hi there, Amanda here, or the Declassified Adoptee. As you probably have already noticed, I don't do a lot of recording of videos. I don't particularly like recording or editing videos. However, I think that there might be some sort of a necessity for me to do so more often. And that's because of the feedback that I consistently get and have gotten over the past 11 years, where people will follow me online for a while and then meet me in person, like at a conference or something, and they're like shooketh. They're like shocked that I'm so nice and even humorous and funny, and sometimes can be even timid or whatever. I think that the way that I can be very technical when I write and very direct when I write, I'm trained in writing that way and expressing myself that way. I think it can give people an intimidating picture or even the idea that I'm mean. And so that is not really who I am. And so I want to do a better job at expressing that. And I think maybe videos are kind of like the best way that I have to do that. So I'm going to try more. I'm going to try more of them. But that's not even why I really started filming this. I started filming this because I want to address something that is along the same topic about like meanness. And I think part of another authenticity piece that is kind of missing from my social media and online presence is a more integrated picture of what my actual professional life is like and who it all involves. Because I have really strived really hard to be adoptee centric and also to emphasize the importance of centering our discussion of adoption and adoption itself on adoptees and on adopted children. And it's also really important to me to hold adoptive parents and adoption agencies accountable for what they do and what they say and how they influence adoption as a community overall for the broader public. I think this can make adoptive parents or other fellow professionals and social workers afraid to comment on my page or engage with me, because even if they followed me for years and they know how to be respectful, they don't want to say or do something wrong. And I totally understand that. In my professional life, I have tons and tons and tons of adoptive families as clients I've had for years. I am able to go into homes that are colorblind, homes that are dismissive, homes that don't have any post-adoption support, homes that don't just get it at all, but people are just really earnest about doing better and being better parents. And I am able to be accepting and non-judgmental because those parents are human. They're asking for help for their kids, and the kids need it. And I have been an agent for radical transformative change in families that has benefited kids and the whole family system at large, because I can approach people who are different than me and have different ideas than me and who even make mistakes with love and acceptance, complete honesty. I don't lie. I don't coddle people. I treat people respectfully. And that's really important for me to emphasize everywhere I go, including online. Yes, I will even advocate for adoptive parents. And I think that's important, especially when they're doing something that's right. And that's not to the exclusion of adopted people. That's because when adoptive parents are doing something right and they're setting a good example and they're being a good influence, part of that is that they're being adoptee centric. That's wonderful. I'm all about supporting that. So today I saw in the stories of a Black adoptive mother that I follow, and I adore her content. I'm not going to mention who she is because I don't want to bring her more drama, and should she choose to remove her own story for whatever reason, like if people are harassing her, I don't want to have this record up talking about her. And anyway, so basically what she screenshotted in one of her stories, a white lady messaged her in response to something that she had posted. This Black adoptive mother had posted something about white people misusing Martin Luther King Jr. quotes. This person made a very abusive, name-calling response to her and told her, "You have a white daughter, so you can't talk about race, bitch." First of all, Karen, Susan, Becky, no. Second of all, this is the problem. First of all, it's just straight up racism, and it's not okay. First of all, it's interpersonal violence. You don't message somebody and call them a bitch. You just do not. Like, no thank you. Second of all, that's just straight up racism. Third of all, and the part that's my purview to talk about, when you tell Black adoptive mothers that they can't talk about race because they have white children, you are a huge part of a problem as to why we don't have enough mothers and fathers of color to take care of children that are in need. And not every child in a foster care system, for example, is legally cleared for adoption. The goal of foster care, as an example, is to reunify, right? So bottom line, we need people to take care of children, whether or not we're talking about adoption as an institution or any of the legal stuff. We need people to take care of children, and children in foster care need compassionate, culturally competent parents. They need an opportunity to have parents who look like them or who love them. When you discourage someone who is taking care of a child who is different than they are, especially a Black person, that tells me that you're doing it to other people who might want to take care of children. You are part of the problem. You don't get to speak to someone's mother that way. You don't get to speak to a Black woman that way. I'm sorry, my neighbor is mowing now and there's like nothing I can do about that. Anyway, I have worked with a number of BIPOC mothers who are raising white children or who are raising children with racial differences from them and the rest of their families, right? And these moms still have a big task to do, even if they're raising white children, when it comes to talking and teaching about race, because they may have to teach their biological children how to deal with racism that they face while teaching their white child or their child who is more white adjacent. They have to teach that child also how to be anti-racist. That's a big job. And those are people that need support, not to be called bitches on Instagram by Susan, Karen, and Becky, who is also probably harassing lots of other Black mothers who are trying to raise children and be a good parent to children. So anyway, I don't know if I just proved my own point about not being that mean, but the Susan, Karen, Beckys of this world are not people that I'm concerned about thinking that I'm mean, because honestly, I could probably say anything and with a smile on my face and they may not take it for what it is. Because if you're messaging someone, calling them a bitch for raising a white daughter, you're not thinking rationally in the first place, perhaps. Where I do want people to know that I'm nice and that I have your back, whether you're a professional, a adoptee, especially a foster parent, an adoptive parent, a first parent. When you're doing the right thing and you're trying hard and you're an imperfect person, but you still have to live your life, do things the best that you know how, there is a community of people in this adoption community that I think I'm a part of that will have your back. I hope that you know that, and I hope that the Susan, Karen, Beckys of this world will just simmer down on the DMs. Please. Thanks, guys.